just saw Donald Trump take virtual center stage at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. It was his first major speech to global business and political leaders since taking office just a few days ago. It really was the first time as 47th president he addressed the number one issue for most Americans, the economy, beyond the top-line promises we saw on day one of his presidency, including the inauguration. Some of the key issues, of course, are lowering inflation and how he is going to deal with job issues. CNN is covering this story from all angles. Richard Quest is on the ground in Davos. Jeff Zeleny is at the White House. Daniel Dale is, of course, our fact checker. I want to start first with you, Richard. You are there. You cover these issues in and out. What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, first of all, good luck, Daniel, as you try and fact check that lot. I am absolutely exhausted having listened to all of that. It was a potpourri of great hits, but if we actually sift it down to policy announcements that we learned from today, number one, he's calling on OPEC to lower the price of oil via the Saudis. He wants them to lower the price of oil, but at the same time, he wants the Saudis, who've already pledged to spend $500 billion, to raise that to $1 trillion. He says he's now hoping that the Crown Prince MBS will invest $1 trillion in the United States. He's going to now call upon NATO to increase the defense spending to 5%. Now, he talked about this during the election, but today, as I listened to the president, he said, I am calling on NATO to increase the defense spending to 5%, when barely, it was a hard job to get them to the old target. This is going to be very difficult. And the biggie, in my view, the biggie on the economy. He has warned European companies, European countries, manufacture in the United States, and these were the president's words, it's your prerogative not to, but if you choose not to, we will tariff. In other words, the threat, the gauntlet has now been thrown down. You manufacture domestically or we'll tariff the product. And he still seems to think that that won't cost American consumers more.
Jeff, I want to play for our viewers a little bit of what the president said about what he considers his message for the audience.
My message to every business in the world is very simple. Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth. We're bringing them down very substantially, even from the original Trump tax cuts. But if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply you will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts, but a tariff.
This is precisely what Richard was talking about there. Now, I wanted our viewers to hear it for themselves. You, Jeff, were with Donald Trump when he went to Davos, physically went there, not virtually like today. That was 6 years ago. What's your takeaway from what you heard?
Look, there's no doubt that the message is largely similar in terms of America is open for business. But what is different, I think, is just the confidence in which he speaks and the delight he takes in rattling the cages of global leaders, from the business sector to global government leaders. I mean, I think saying that, again, urging and calling on a NATO to spend 5% of their GDP on defense, that is something he has said before, but never as president. But I think what we also saw there was something that we were going to be measuring this presidency by. That is the degree to how much he looks forward and how much he looks backward. And there was definitely a mix of that in this. He started the speech talking again about President Biden and still trying to cling to President Biden as a foil, still trying to sort of use the metric of that last administration as a way to propel this one. Well, soon, I mean, this is Donald Trump's government now, so we will see how long that lasts. But also raising the point of taxes. We've seen a flurry of executive actions. Donald Trump's presidency is going to be measured on his legislative success.